as we can see in Punch and Judy.
Punch and Judy is all about Punch killing everyone.
Exactly. Particularly Judy.
Yes, certainly.
Who is his wife.
Yes.
So then we also see it in literature.
Yay!
Clearly, we know Shakespeare stole from other playwrights. Like he stole stories all the time. One of my favorites, The Taming of the Shrew. The entire Bianca storyline is stolen from an Italian play, which is stolen from Commedia dell'Arte. So the entire Bianca storyline is Commedia dell'Arte. And then he came in and said, oh, well, I'll just add this, English folktale to it about a man beating his wife until she becomes, nice. So then he added the two together and made Taming of the Shrew. So we see them all over the place. All of his comedies have some of that dynamic. They're driven by the lovers who are in love but can't really be in love because there's something stopping that, and in the end they get married. You always have some sort of dirty old man. You always have ridiculous servants. Bottom, Midsummer, Dogberry is. So then, more recently, we get The Simpsons.
No.
Yes, I took it to The Simpsons. Given what I have shown you here, and all these different masks, who do you guys think Bart Simpson is?
Yeah.
And the creepy old man?
Homer?
No, the other creepy old man.
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns.
The rich
Oh yeah, the nose.
Not to lie.
Money.
Homer must be Johnny. Because he's always concerned with his body and what's in
Well,
You could be with the kid.
Because Homer is
he's
the
not
utter,
obsessed with money, though.
picture of impulsiveness.
Homer is harder
He
to.
wants food.
He's harder to
Yes.
pin
He
down.
wants food.
But he does always want
Occasionally he
food.
wants revenge on someone, so
What's
they punch him.
Bart's sister's name?
Lisa.
Lisa. Who's Lisa?
Don't tell
Columbia?
Columbia.
Columbia?
She should be disappointed the way she talks all the
Yeah, basically. She's right.
So,
Yeah.
Commedia dell'Arte. It's everywhere. Yes.
Dumb quick question.
Yes.
Pierrot. Is Pierrot just a French version of Pantalone, or am I making that up?
I don't know. Let's see. Because it says here that it must be true. I'm not familiar with that character.
I heard of him somewhere. I don't think he's quite Commedia dell'Arte. Sorry, that was a random question. He's something very similar. He's one of these set characters, and he sounds sort of like Pantalone, except
Is he old and creepy?
He's old and fail. I remember him vaguely as being somehow him and someone who's similar to Arlequino but not quite the same are always going after the same girl. And Arlequino always wins, and Pantalone is always sad and cries and never gets her. And that's all I remembered. I wasn't sure if it was actually Commedia dell'Arte or not.
I mean, it is probably closely related in some way. Once Commedia dell'Arte was established in France, they started having troops, French Commedia dell'Arte troops that would perform in French. And gradually, you start adapting the characters to the stereotypes in your country, and then it just gets out of hand. The Simpsons really is an adaptation of Commedia dell'Arte to our stereotypes. So
It's true.
actually, cool fact. Once it started spreading all through Europe, you ended up with troops all speaking different languages, and sometimes they would get together and perform together even though they didn't speak the same language. And so you would get this horrible conflict of language with but they would know who the other characters were, so you could actually still construct a plot. It still could work really well because they're all in conflict all the time anyway. Yes.
When you're talking at the very beginning about how Commedia dell'Arte was kind of like a distinction, you would have people who were officially part of it and others who were not. Is it a noble distinction, or is it the kind of thing where only a low-blooded person is an actor and puts on a play and sells themselves?
Sort of. That's why they were so concerned about prostitution.
Okay.
It more so in other countries than Italy, but it was definitely something like
And then I guess as a follow-up question, is the audience primarily, is there a class, is this sort of play targeted to a specific class of people? Is it low culture, is it high culture, is it something in between?
Well, it started out in the marketplace. So just
Okay.
whoever happened to be passing through, generally people of lower classes. Then, as it gained popularity, it started being performed in courts. Like I said about Isabella, was very popular in certain courts. She was very articulate. People liked her a lot. So.
Okay.
Yes.
Just plugging my own personal favorite art form. Opera is another place you can see Commedia dell'Arte a lot. Marriage of Figaro is sort of multiple roles get glued together, but it's really interesting. So.
One thing I forgot to mention, actually, when you have, generally you would have two sets of lovers, which is an important thing. Sometimes they get.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yes, exactly. Midsummer Night's Dream is a perfect example. There's always two marriages at the end. It's not just,
One isn't enough.
No.
The
You gotta
marriage
have two.
race,
Even Taming of the Shrew has two marriages. Although arguably Kate and Petruchio are more second lovers than first lovers. These guys are first lovers because they're in love with the idea of love. But second lovers are in love with the idea of love, but then they're scared of love because it hurt them before. So they are even more annoying to deal with.
Oh, second lovers are the most fun.
Yes.
What about Waiting for Godot?
What about it?
I mean, okay, so
Yeah, he just never showed up.
let me. Which one is lucky and which one is Pozo?
Lucky is really unlucky one. Well, they're both unlucky.
Well,
Pozo's master, lucky servant.
yes. Is that at all related to Commedia dell'Arte? Because I think it's kind of like. No, you just talk about it.
It's possible that the servant-master dynamic has been colored permanently by Commedia dell'Arte, but I don't think that it was immediately drawing from that.
Oh.
So
But it's good performance idea.
that would be very interesting, given that it's such a, you can do whatever you want with it kind of play. That would be really cool. More questions?
Cool.
That was about 45 minutes.
Something along such lines.
We just leave it here.
Yeah, sure. Confuse the hell out of the computability theory class on Monday.